In our opinion, the secular themes are going to continue to play out in the second half. I mean, all of our checks show, both on the consumer side and on the enterprise, specifically areas like big data, cybersecurity. Those are names where we think they could beat earnings 10, 15%. Multiples continue to expand. The growth continues to be there. And when you look at FANG names, I think this is really going to be a seminal earnings for an Amazon, for Netflix. You've seen massive runs, but ultimately we believe with significant beat and raises on the horizon, we still view it as a strong green light here to own these names.
Rebecca, how about you? And is it at all worrisome to you that so much of the market's performance is tied to a narrow number of stocks?
Yeah, I mean, we share a lot of the same views. We've been overweight tech for quite some time now. Obviously, that's been helpful for us. You know, what's interesting is tech historically wasn't a cyclical sector, and now you're seeing more and more capital spending. CapEx is tech-related, software as a service, cloud, you name it, cyber. So when we get to the inverted curve, when we get ultimately to the recession, I think that you are going to see a lot of profit taking on these names. Now, that could be a year or 2 years away, but it's such a crowded trade today, and it is going to pull the whole market with it. However, if you believe in the structural story, it's also going to be an amazing opportunity for people who would like to own stocks like Amazon or Apple or Google, but get in at a better level. So I think you are going to get a washout at some point. It will pull the market, to your question, but that's going to be a buying opportunity in our view.
Dan, what names do you like particularly in tech? We're just talking broad tech, but which names are your...
Look, Netflix we continue to view as a table pounder here. I ultimately think that's going to 500 over the next 3 to 6 months. And that's just when content's king. You look at the subscriber growth. You look what's happening internationally, going from 68 to what we believe is 100 million by 2020. You know, Amazon we've talked about. And then you look at cybersecurity. You look at a name like Palo Alto. That continues to be, in our opinion, one of the best ways to play that trend, going from 5% of budgets to 10% in terms of cybersecurity.
Is there political risk, though, for Amazon because President Trump just keeps putting it in its crosshairs? There's a lot of contracts coming up, the Postal Service contract, the Department of Defense contract, I believe. I mean, concerning?
Well, I think, look, it's been a headwind. You've seen it. I mean, you've seen the stock react, especially every time there's a tweet out there. I think the market's becoming more immune. I think the big thing's the JEDI contract coming up, because ultimately, this is really an AWS story. Can they be successful on that contract, billion-dollar, plus opportunity for Amazon? I think that's really something that's going to be front and center. Do they win that deal? Does AWS cloud ramp? And I do think regulatory, you look at post office, we've talked about minimal fundamental risk. You look at the antitrust issues. I think Bark's a lot worse than the bite. But every time you see these events, you saw the stock get hit. Those are the opportunities, in our opinion, just given, I think, ultimately, I think it's a scarier headline than the reality.
Rebecca, it must be hard to keep tech as an overweight as a certain percentage within your portfolio. So within technology, you must be more favorable, less favorable about certain subsectors in order to make those trims to keep the allocation where it should be.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. We're definitely focused on cloud, software as a services, cyber, definitely a growing area we're looking at, artificial intelligence. We try to find companies that don't have too much cyclical sensitivity, although that is getting harder to do. Try to find low use of debt in these companies. So there are certain companies we find meet more of our criteria as we filter through the stocks. And I'd also just add quickly that tech isn't just the tech sector anymore, right? So pretty much every sector has a tech element today, whether you're talking about retail and omni-channel shopping, or you're talking about healthcare and biotech. So financial, tech, blockchain. So I think we're taking a more holistic view of technology today, not just the sector, but saying how can we find companies that can keep a moat, keep and grow market share with technology that won't be disrupted.
It's a really great point, because really every company today is a digital company, a technology company in some way or
Domino's
another.
Pizza, for one.
Exactly. If you don't have a digital strategy, you're toast. Are there areas of tech that you don't like, that are worrisome to you? And what, if anything, would cause you to change your relatively sanguine view of this sector? Dan, you first. Are there areas you don't like?
Look, for me, it's really those companies not exposed to the cloud. And when I look at companies that, or maybe we'll call it on the other side of tech spending, that's why, look, what worries me is you look at a name like Symantec on cybersecurity side. You look what IBM's going through, definitely a fork in the road situation. Can they be successful on cloud? And you look at some of the, the net share gainers like a Salesforce, but then you look at an Oracle, how are they focused on the cloud? So we, kind of like Rebecca was saying, I continue to view it, when you look at the secular core themes, who's on the wrong side, and can they win it ultimately? Is it M&A, how they ultimately get those assets?
And we're looking a lot at companies with good return on investment. So if they're not able to grow, if they're not able to make money on the money they're invested, we don't usually want to go there.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.